Karen, if you can hear me, you're on mute.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We are here today for the Azamara advisor training exclusively for 1000 Mile Travel Group. We have our special guest presenter today. His name is Mitch Platt, and he is our Strategic Business Development Manager. So welcome, Mitch, and thank you for being here with us. And we are excited to hear all about Azamara.
Thank you so much, Karen. And first of all, thank you all for joining me this afternoon. And as Karen mentioned, my name's Mitch Platt. I am your sales contact with Azamara. I am out of Austin, Texas, and am thrilled to be partnering with you. So without further ado, let's get the show on the road, as they say. If you do have any questions, if you could just hold on to them to the end of the presentation, and then I'll be happy to address any questions you all may have. So for those of you who may not be familiar with Azamara, I'm going to give you a brief Azamara history. There was a cruise line called Renaissance Cruise Lines. Renaissance had 8 beautiful boutique ships. They sailed around the world. However, 9/11 happened, and sadly, Renaissance was not fiscally responsible, and they went belly up. And their ships sat empty at shipyards around the world for several years. And in 2007, Royal Caribbean Group purchased 2 of these ships. And these 2 ships were originally going to join Celebrity. However, the decision was made at the 11th hour to create a standalone brand simply because these ships were so unique and special compared to what Celebrity had at that time, which was Millennium Class and Century Class. And Azamara was born in 2007. Fast forward to 2009, a gentleman named Larry Pimentel joined Azamara as our CEO and president. And Larry was really responsible for putting Azamara on the map. And what he did was really quite ingenious. He slowed down the ship and focused on the destinations. And what we call, even to this day, destination immersion. And that is really the true essence of Azamara. That makes us so unique compared to other cruise lines. And what destination immersion means is that we have carefully crafted the most incredible itineraries out there in the marketplace, focusing on the ports of call. We spend more time in the ports of call than any other cruise product, coupled with more late night stays and more overnight stays. And this allows our guests to experience these wonderful destinations after dark. And that truly was the missing link from traditional cruising. And back in 2017, Azamara was actually the first cruise line to introduce country-intensive voyages. So if you have customers looking for a specific country, please think about Azamara and present Azamara as a viable option, because as we all know, cruising is a much greater value and you don't have to live out of your suitcase. So back, I was giving you a little bit about the Azamara history, and back in 2018, 11 years after the launch of Azamara, Royal Caribbean Group actually invested money in securing our 3rd ship, which became the Azamara Pursuit. This was a former Renaissance cruise ship. And as you all know, back in 2021, during the COVID timeframe, Royal Caribbean needed cash infusion, and so they actually sold Azamara. Azamara was sold to a private equity firm out of New York called Sycamore Partners. Within 1 week of the sale, under Sycamore Partners, they purchased our 4th ship, which is now the Azamara Onward, and another Renaissance cruise ship. So all 4 of our ships are identical. They're all sister ships. But the point I want to make is it took us 11 years under Royal Caribbean to get a 3rd ship, and 1 week under the new ownership to get a 4th ship. So I'm very optimistic about the long-term prospects of Azamara. Sycamore Partners is really committed to growing the brand. This is their first venture into the travel segment. All of our ships are identical. They are 30,000 tons. That equates to 700 guests, 408 crew members. So our staff to guest ratio is for every staff member, 1.7 guests. But because our ships are smaller, this is really important. 65% of the ports of call that we go to, you would never be able to go there on a mainstream cruise line because they can't fit. So this opens up so many more incredible destinations around the world. And then on top of that, over half of the ports of call that we go to feature an overnight or a late night stay. And we define late night stay as 8 p.m. or later. I love this slide. This really hits home everything I was talking about. Out of all the days that were sailing last year, you can see 52% of those days featured either in a late night stay or an overnight stay. And we surpass our competitive set by heads and tails. So when you are presenting Azamara to a potential customer, you can safely state that Azamara has the most immersive itineraries out there with more overnight stays and late night stays than anybody else. You all play a very important role. You are the value interpreter to our customers. As a result, when presenting Azamara, it is really important for you to articulate that price-value relationship because many people may not have heard of Azamara or understand what they are getting for the cost of the cruise. The major inclusions in Azamara are, number one, your gratuities are included. Number two, your beverages are included. And by beverages, I mean standard hard spirits, a selection of wines by the glass, selection of beer, soft drinks, bottled water, specialty coffees. And my friends, that's any time the bars are open. In addition to that, we also include what we call the complimentary AzAmazing Evening event. I'll talk a little bit further about that during the course of the presentation. And we also offer complimentary self-service laundry, which I feel is really a great benefit because many of our cruises tend to be longer, and guests do not have to pack an additional suitcase and incur the additional baggage fee. They can do their own laundry while on board. So I would encourage you all to consider asking this question. Would you like to spend more time in port? This is a brilliant segue to introducing Azamara. 9 times out of 10, people are going to say absolutely, and that is a wonderful option then to present Azamara. People often ask, who is the Azamara customer? It really is a combination of demographics and psychographics. So demographically speaking, 83% of our guests are 45 and older, and our sweet spot are truly baby boomers. 66% are married, over 80% book with a travel advisor. The majority of our guests are either retired or close to retirement, and the average booking window is 9.5 months out. Now, psychographically, these are highly seasoned travelers, and they are looking to take a deeper dive into their vacation experience. They want to have a much more immersive experience. They want to connect with the cultures, connect with the history, connect with the culinary, and connect with the people. And they have chosen Azamara as a result of that. One thing you're going to find with Azamara is what in our collateral is extended destination days. And this is being called out on any protocol where we have 10 or more hours in port. That allows our guests not to be rushed and to really enjoy the destination in much greater detail than normally one would find on a traditional cruise. This is a beautiful example of one of our AzAmazing Evening events. This photograph was actually taken in Ephesus. The protocol for Ephesus is Kushadasi, Turkey. Ephesus has an amazing history. It was the eastern capital of the Roman Empire. So after the fall of Rome, the western portion of the Roman Empire went through the Dark Ages and went through a drastic decline. Whereas the eastern portion of the Roman Empire thrived, it actually went through a renaissance. Ephesus was its capital. And how we conduct the AzAmazing Evening in this specific example is our guests will have an early dinner on the ship. They'll get off the ship and we'll have motor coaches waiting for all 700 guests. They'll take that 15-20-minute motor coach ride over to the entrance to Ephesus. Ephesus is closed to the public at night. They come out and unlock the gates for the Azamara guests. Our guests are greeted with hors d'oeuvres and beverages, and you're able to meander through Ephesus at night without contending with thousands of other tourists. And then what we've done is a classical concert under the stars in the Odeon, which is the Roman amphitheater built in the 1st century. Now, because each of our sailings are unique and different, each sailing will have its own unique AzAmazing Evening event. based upon the itinerary. And this is complimentary. It is available on every sailing 7 nights and longer, with the exception of our transatlantics. One of the other marquee events we do on every cruise is our White Night Party. And this is simply a blast. And our guests love this. We take away all the deck furniture on the pool deck. We set up tables and chairs. We dress everything out in white. We encourage our guests to wear white outfits. We set up an incredible buffet. We serve lobster, rack of lamb, crepe Suzette. Our officers actually serve the food. Our singers and our band will perform, and it turns into a beautiful deck party with people dancing under the stars. Absolutely not to be missed. For those of you who've never been on our ships, I'm going to walk you through some of the interior shots so you have a greater idea of what our ships look like. Our ships went through major renovations, and most recently, when they were sheltering in place during COVID, and before they relaunched, they were also, again, updated and renovated. So when you walk on our ships, you really feel like you're walking into a luxurious boutique hotel. The decor is very light, very contemporary, and very organic. And this is the main staircase right in the center of the ship. Our staterooms are very well appointed. The majority of our staterooms are the verandas. 90% of the rooms on our ships have our exterior facing, and approximately 90% of those have balconies. Our verandas are 175 square feet with a 40 square foot balcony, and there's ample storage for our guests to accommodate their clothes. Plenty of drawers and plenty of closet space. When you move up to our suite category, our guests are going to get more inclusions. They're going to get their own personal English style butler who will truly spoil them. And probably the best benefit for suite guests is they will receive unlimited specialty dining at no surcharge. Otherwise, it is a $50 per person surcharge. This is our spa suites. We have 2 of them on all of our ships. They're in a private corridor adjacent to our spa, very well appointed with beautiful spa bathrooms. And this is our entry-level suite, our Club Continent suite. It is approximately 235 square feet with an expanded balcony as well. Dining at Azamara, number 1, is country club casual attire. No formal nights, no dress up. Our main dining room discoveries is open seating. So you can eat when you want and with whom you want. So you're not rushed. We have 2 specialty dining rooms, Aquilina, which is our Italian, and Prime C, our steakhouse. Those are reservations only. You make the reservations when you first board the ship. If you are in a suite, it is complimentary. Otherwise, it is a $50 per person surcharge. And then we have several casual dining options, including the patio, which is a outdoor area covered by the pool. And then we have windows, which is our buffet on deck, open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We also have 24-hour room service. And for a ship our size, we really have incredible entertainment. We have our own singers and dancers. We have our own orchestra. We have our own production shows. But if we don't have a production show going on, we'll have a guest performer, or we'll have the AzAmazing Evening or the White Night Party. But the most important point I do want you all to take away is that quite often we're in port at night. So unlike other cruise ships where you're on the ship every single night, with Azamara, you do have the option to be off the ship and enjoying these wonderful destinations after dark. We have a full service spa and fitness center. As I mentioned at the very beginning, we were the first cruise line to introduce country-intensive voyages back in 2017. So again, when you have customers looking for a specific country, provided the timing aligns with your client's departures, please consider Azamara and present Azamara as an option. Let me walk you through some of the examples of our itineraries, because this really kind of hits home. This itinerary, which is currently in process, is one of our Spain intensive itineraries from Lisbon, Portugal to Barcelona. And on this 9-night itinerary, when you look at this, for many people, the highlight of this cruise is when we go to Seville. And because our ship is smaller, we're actually able to sail 60 miles up the Guadalquivir River, and we dock right in the heart of Seville. Moreover, we overnight there. You have 2 full days in Seville. You arrive at 8 in the morning on day number 1, and you leave at 6 p.m. on day number 2. We dock a 5-minute walk from the Plaza de España, which is the photograph you see in the background, and a 15-minute walk from the Santa Cruz neighborhood and the cathedral. And this is absolutely a highlight for many of our guests. Other cruise ships, when they go to Seville, they are typically going to be at Cadiz. Cadiz is on the Atlantic coast. It takes around an hour and 45-minute motor coach ride each way to and from Seville. This is a tremendous benefit to our guests. We also go to Gibraltar, where they're in Gibraltar till 9 o'clock at night. We're in Malaga till 10 o'clock at night. We're in Cartagena, Spain till 8 o'clock at night. And we're in Alicante, Spain till 8 o'clock at night. Let me just share with you this short video of our ship sailing up the Guadalquivir River.
Mitch, are you still there? I can't hear you anymore.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, great.
Anyhow, that takes approximately 6 hours. Now, we're not a river cruise line. We never will be in the Rhine or in the Danube, but because of the size of our ship and the draft, we're able to touch many rivers. And on our France intensive itinerary that's coming up this September, we will be touching some additional rivers. Now, let's walk through this itinerary. You begin in Southampton, and then the first port of call is going to be Rouen, which is the closest port of call for Paris. We will sail approximately 60 miles down the Seine and dock right in the heart of Rouen. We overnight there. So if our guests want to get off the ship and actually go to Paris and spend the evening in Paris, they are able to do that. And then they can come back to the ship the following day if they so choose. Then we go to Honfleur and Cherbourg for the Normandy beaches. We're in Honfleur till 10:30 at night. We're in Cherbourg till 11 o'clock at night. And then we go to one of my favorite places, Saint-Malo, which is in Brittany, and we're there till 10:30 at night. And then we go to Brest, and lastly, we go to Bordeaux. And the ship is your hotel for the last night of the cruise. Now, when we go to Bordeaux, we sail approximately 80 miles down the Gironde River, and we dock right in the heart of Bordeaux, right in the old city. We have a variety of different Greece-intensive cruises. And what I love when Azamara does Greece is we have a nice mixture of the marquee ports of call coupled with many of the hidden gems. Now, on this specific itinerary, the marquee ports of call I would consider would be Rhodes, and we're there till 8 o'clock at night. And Santorini, we're there till 9 o'clock at night. And why I want to call out Santorini is because the most beautiful sunset in the world is to be seen from the iconic village of Ios in Santorini. Most other cruise ships, you're back on the ship at 5, waving goodbye to Santorini, and you're missing this most majestic sunset. This is our Ireland intensive cruise from Dublin to Southampton. You board the ship in Dublin. The ship is your hotel for that first night, and you depart on day number 2 at 10 p.m. Then we go up to Belfast, and we have another overnight in Belfast, arriving 8 in the morning on day number 1 and departing on the second day at 8 p.m. And then we circumnavigate the beautiful Emerald Isle. We have a couple different Iceland intensive cruises coming up this summer, one from Amsterdam to Reykjavik, and then one from Reykjavik to Edinburgh. And we circumnavigate this incredible island of Iceland. We go up north to the second largest city of Akureyri, population 30,000 people. And this photograph I actually took out from Akureyri. It's outside of Akureyri. It's the Mývatn Bass, and it absolutely is incredible. So if you ever get to Iceland, I definitely would encourage you to stay away from the Blue Lagoon. And if you want to go to the geothermal baths, make sure you do that when you go to Akureyri. Absolutely incredible. We are bringing one of our ships back early this year, simply because it was originally scheduled to be doing the Israel and Egypt, and because of the political unrest, we made the decision to bring our ship back early, and we have introduced some Canada New England sailings. So our ship will come back to Boston, and then we will be doing this incredible itinerary from Boston all the way to Montreal, with overnights in Quebec City. And then we'll be doing this sailing, Colonial America, from Montreal all the way to Miami. So really two remarkable itineraries that we will be offering. And then we will be doing an Eastern Caribbean itinerary, going to St. Kitts, to Nevis, Antigua, Virgin Gorda, and some other wonderful places in the Caribbean. Now, with Azamara, we love to do cruises coinciding with the world events and festivals. And this year and next year are no exceptions. Every year we do our Monaco Grand Prix cruise. This year we have two cruises that coincide with the Grand Prix. We do sell tickets to the Grand Prix as a shore excursion. We will be in Scotland offering the Scottish intensive itinerary in August. And why that is relevant is because of the iconic military tattoo every year in Edinburgh, at the Edinburgh Castle in August. And we do sell tickets to the military tattoo as a short excursion. And next year, we have this incredible itinerary that coincides with Carnival in Rio. We have a double overnight in Rio. We do sell tickets to the Carnival festivities at the Samba Drome as a short excursion. But next year, this sailing also will include a sailing up the Amazon River all the way to Manaus. Now, this is a longer itinerary, but if you have customers looking for something very unique and different, this may be the wonderful solution. Now, we sail, it's 900 miles inland from the Atlantic to Manaus, and we do make stops both when we go inwards, and then also when we depart Manaus. We also have a partnership with Perry Golf. So if you have any avid golfers, please think about Azamara and direct your clients who want to golf during their vacation on one of our golf voyages. How it works is you book the cruise with Azamara, and then you book the add-on Perry Golf package directly with Perry Golf. You will get commission by $200 commission for each package you sell directly from Perry Golf. Now, they're a wonderful partner. They set up all the tee times. Your clients will be able to golf at world-renowned golf courses based upon the itinerary. They set up all the transfers, tee times, food and beverage while you're golfing, informal tournaments, and their own private cocktail party as well. And they have their own hosts that will be on the cruise with our golf guests. Every year we do our British Open cruise, and next year is no exception. It will be the 153rd British Open. It's a wonderful British Isles cruise, and it does coincide with the British Open, and we do sell tickets to the British Open as a shore excursion as well. Perry Golf does have a golf package that is available on the sailing. Next year, we have 5 Japan intensive cruises. Now, this is probably the quintessential country intensive voyage, simply because number one, Japan's a country of islands, and thus very conducive to cruising. Number two, if you do Japan by land, it's insanely expensive for food, for lodging, and for transportation, making cruising a great value. And we are there during the cherry blossom season. So if you have customers looking for Japan, please consider one of our cruises. During our winter and their summer, we do sail South Africa with South Africa intensive cruises, round trip Cape Town, typically 12 nights. We do have a partnership with Mikado Safaris. If you have any guests that want to extend and want a very immersive safari experience, that is available. But I can assure you that any guests that are not extending, they still will be able to see the Big Five, because we do offer shore excursions to game reserves in close proximity to the ports of call that we call on in South Africa. One of our ships also sails Australia, New Zealand during our winter and their summer, and we do have some wonderful Australia and New Zealand intensive cruises. And then we have one of our ships sailing South America. And I would be remiss not to mention every year we do have one sailing that goes all the way down to Antarctica. Now, I was looking at some of our itineraries for 2025, and this itinerary caught my eye. It's very unique and very different. I just wanted to call it out. It's from Gran Canaria all the way to Lisbon, but it is not only calling on the Canary Islands, but it is calling on two ports of call in Morocco, Agadir, and also Casablanca. And this itinerary also caught my eye. It's a very unique itinerary from Southampton to Barcelona, June of next year. There are only 4 ports of call on this itinerary. However, we're in port 3 days in each of these destinations. That means a double overnight. So we're in Bordeaux 3 days. And again, you're going to be able to go down the Gironde River, and we dock right in the old city. 3 days in Lisbon, and we dock right adjacent to the Alfama area of Lisbon. 3 days in Seville, again, sailing up the Guadalquivir River and docking right in the old city of Seville. And then lastly, a double overnight in Barcelona before you disembark. We have a variety of different Greece-intensive cruises for 2025, 11 in total. We have 6 Croatia-intensive cruises in 2025. And 6 Italy intensive cruises in 2025, 5 Spain intensive cruises in 2025. And then new for 2025 and new for Azamara is the first time ever, we will be going to Greenland. And we have a few Greenland cruises. This one is from Reykjavik all the way to Montreal, 15 nights. 4 days we will be in Greenland, including 3 ports of call and 1 day of cruising Prince Christian Sound. And then we make our way to the maritime region of Canada, overnighting in Quebec City, making our way to Montreal. And then we have a reverse from Montreal all the way back to Reykjavik. In case you have any customers looking for a world cruise, we have our world cruise available for 2026. It's 10 segments, 155 nights. And if you have customers looking to book the entire world cruise, they will have inclusions worth over $22,000. And this is from Miami all the way to Barcelona. Just want to remind all of you, we have our new travel partner portal. It's called AzAmaraConnect.com. This is the landing page. If you are unable to sign in, you can also always click on request support, but it is your administrator who will actually set you up to give you access to sign in to AzAmaraConnect.com. Now, from AzAmaraConnect.com, you can access our reservation platform, which is Seaware Touch. You would click on reservations in the upper right-hand corner. If you're not familiar with Seaware, we do have recorded webinars and training instructions that are available on Azamara Connect. So it is very important that you do get access to signing up, or so you are able to log into AzAmaraConnect.com. Again, that would be done through your administrator. And then also what you're going to find is a variety of different resources, including our digital asset library, our training videos, all of our marketing materials, all of our flyers, our digital destination guides. And from here, you can actually order our printed destination guides. So please definitely check this out. One thing that we launched recently is we're giving our guests the opportunity, if they pay if their sailing is at least 180 days out or longer, and they pay in full, we will give them a 5% onboard credit for their cruise fare in the form of an OBC. So we're really trying to encourage people to pay in full. That kind of locks them in to the cruise. and really has, really creates much more greater sticking factor for their upcoming sailing. And they get the benefit of the onboard ship credit. And then this recently just launched, is our new offer that's going to run all the way to the end of May. It is allowing our customers to pick their perk. They can either get up to $1,000 onboard ship credit or up to $1,000 airfare discount, provided that they book their air with Azamara. They can choose one or the other. This is available on over 68 departures that are sailing between July of this year and June of next year. So you can easily access the flyer at AzAmaraConnect.com, and you can look at the available voyages. But it is, again, the majority of our voyages during that time frame. And then for sailings further out, we're encouraging people to book further out. And as a result, if they book a veranda or above, we're going to, and this would be for sailings beyond our marketplace offer, we're giving clients savings of 20% off, plus free Wi-Fi, $300 onboard ship credit, and upgrade to a premium liquor package for 2 guests. Alrighty. So I am 2 minutes over, and I want to again thank you. And Karen, I just wanted to see if we have any questions in the chat box or if anybody has any questions.
Okay, so Anne is asking you to clarify. Did you say that the $50 per person dinner surcharge does or does not apply to the main dining room when a guest is not a suite?
Main dining room is complimentary. Our casual dining options are complimentary. It's only for the specialty dining that we have the surcharge.
Okay, so that does answer your question, Anne. Does anybody else have a question for Mitch? Chad would like to say you are a rock star, Mitch. You helped him during changeover, saving his group, and he appreciates that.
Oh, thank you, Chad. Appreciate it.
Okay, well, it doesn't seem that anybody else has any other questions. So thank you so much for your time, Mitch. And this will be on the training library for until we have a fresh one to replace it for further reference. And we appreciate you being here, Mitch. Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you, Karen. Take care, everybody.